What is up? This is Dylan, Dylan Talks Tone. Today, I'm going to show you my rig that I use when I play out. It's a Kemper and a Dylan custom guitar. I know this is a little different video. I don't normally do this kind of stuff, but I figured, hey, I want to share. I have my Dylan custom guitars Telly with a Bigsby B16 on it. That's like my main guitar right now. In fact, it's my only guitar right now, which is kind of weird. I built it for myself. You know, we build like 20 guitars a year, and I just sometimes feel like, I want to build one, but I kind of want to keep it for myself if nobody buys it. Of course, everything's for sale always. This is the one that I envisioned for myself. So 10 to 14, compound radius fretboard with big frets. This is a roasted maple neck, Bakelite pick guard, Dylan pickups DAF in the neck, Dylan pickups flat 6 in the bridge, Bigsby B16 with a bow tie bridge. Sorkin bow tie. Actually, this is the compensated one too, so for the plain G. Three-way switch, coil split for the humbucker, and that's really it. I mean, it's a Swamp Ash body. Of course, all the cool aged stuff. Super simple, really. It's just a guitar, it's good. It plays great. It sounds great. It's awesome. And I play a Kemper. So you guys have probably seen me use this in videos when we're demoing various things and trying stuff. But I don't get to play out very often anymore, so until recently. So I kind of picked up a gig with a friend of mine, and we're playing about, once or twice a month. Did a video a few weeks ago, I think, about playing this using acoustic, because we were doing some acoustic stuff. So now I figured I'd share with you my sound with the Kemper, and I use this a little different than some people do. So I use a powered Kemper with a guitar cabinet that I had custom built. If you're interested in, if you want a custom built cabinet for your Kemper, now I know they came out with one at NAMM and some other stuff, but if you're interested, let me know in the comments, and I'd be happy to hook you up with the guy who built this for me, because I really like it. It's basically like a big Blues Junior cabinet, like for a 12, but it's bigger, a sealable back. You can take the back off so it can be sealed or not sealed. It's not sealed right now. It has an Eminence Tonker 150 in it, running at 16 ohms. I did that to keep the power down, so I'm not blowing stuff up all the time. It's plenty loud. People ask me all the time, why do you play this instead of having some sort of flat range, full range flat response speaker, or you just play into the PA. When we play acoustic gigs, I do that. But when I play an electric guitar, I want it to feel like a guitar amp behind me. I know that's not what it's intended for. You can jump through the comments all you want on the internet and scream about it, but I don't care. It's just what I like. I just like how it sounds. I like how it feels, and it becomes just an amp at that point, which is what it is. It's just an amp with 350 profiles in it. So I'm going to show you what I use and how I set it up. So, no fancy mics, none of that stuff. It's literally a Rode Video Micro on the Panasonic over here, the B camera. That's what you're hearing, so it's about this far away from the amp, and it's just what you're hearing in the room. My main sound that I use, because we call it cowpunk, but it's basically like that old, 1-4-5-4. So that's like my basic, clean, Johnny Cash rhythm sound. If we want to put some dirt on that, I will do that. And that is, so down here, the way I have this set up, you can do this a whole bunch of different ways. But the way I do it is, there's 5 amps coming across the bottom. I actually only use 3 of them. And then this top bar over here is effects for each of those amps. Now, I don't set this up per song, like per song program. So a lot of guys, there's a couple different ways you can do it. Some guys will do this whole thing as one song, and they'll use a sound for number 1, like a sound for the intro, a sound for the verse, a sound for the chorus, a sound for the solo, whatever, and it'll have a bunch of effects built into it to make that sound, and then they'll page up to the next song and have a different song, a different bank for the next song. I don't do that. That's honestly too complicated for me. So what I do is I basically just have 5 amps. And these cover all the sounds of me. Because no matter what I do, I sound like me anyway. So, I have 5 different amps that I use. We'll go through them one at a time and then I'll show you the effects that I have on them. And this is how I use it. So, 5 amps here. There's effects up here. That's it. So, if we want to put... So that is a Fender Super Reverb. And then it has a little compression on it right here. And then this is like a tube screamer. So that's kind of like my little chunkier rhythm. And then let's see, what do we have here? Oh, there's a couple of songs that we play clean, and I'll use a rotating speaker. Rotating speaker here, and then of course the delay is the last one. I just leave that on all the time. My second sound is basically my more gainy sound. So if we go over here to number 3, I kind of skip number 2. I just space them apart so it makes it easier so I don't like accidentally stomp anything. So here's number 3. This is, I used to play Fuchs amps. If you go all the way back to some of my older videos, you'll remember I played a Fuchs ODS 50. Well, I bought this Kemper about the time that those were going out the door. So I had that and this at the same time. So I profiled it. Just like in like a normal kind of Johnny Cash old school sound, I couple with the bass. So it's a lead guitar player and there is a bass player, but then there's also me. So I will actually complement depending on what the bass is doing. But see, in this band, he'll be doing he'll be doing that whole thing, and then you got the train beat from the drummer. If we're playing in a fully electric show and we're doing like the fully cowpunk thing, so I'll be doing that opposite of the bass player, doing his the normal thumpy thing. And so it's bigger and louder and wider. It just widens everything. And then we gotta get really nuts. We come over here to bank 5, which is a Friedman Brown Eye. So there's a couple songs we have that sound. I forgot to mention, going back to the Fuchs profile, what I really like about how I have this set up is every amp can have its own effects on it. So the Fuchs profile that we use here, I put